Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. The 20th anniversary patch notes just dropped and I'm going to tell you every single thing that you need to know about this patch, what the upcoming events are, and all the details. It'll all be in this video so you can learn how to do it, so you can learn what's going on and have an enjoyable time. On top of that, I want to say to make sure that you subscribe so that you can see all the following videos about this patch. I'm going to have videos about what to buy from the shop, what the events are, how to do all of the mini games, how to use all the resources and everything. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of that type of stuff. Tell all your friends about it. And even more importantly, pull up to the live stream so that you can see me do all of these events, progress my character live and ask questions and follow along and all that good stuff. And also, if anybody is wondering when I'm coming back from Japan, it will be on Thursday. It will be my first live stream back. So make sure you're there on Thursday so you're not missing out on anything. All right, with that all out of the way, let's go over the patch notes and I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know. So the first thing is the new job Mo Xuan, which I am heavily debating maining this class, to be honest with you, because it just looks really cool and it's something really new. So Mo Xuan, this is a brand new class. It has existed in the Taiwan MapleStory server for a long time now, but we're finally getting it in the GMS region. So obviously this part of the patch notes is just going to be Mo Xuan skills. Look forward to a complete video just about Mo Xuan, whether it's worth playing or not, and how the class looks and everything like that. But if you want to read about Mo Xuan's skills, obviously the link to the patch notes will be down below, but it's just all the details on how all of his skills works. He's a martial artist class, which is very interesting. We don't have a class like that really. But what's also really cool about Mo Xuan is when you level him up, you get a bunch of free resources specifically for him. So for example, when you reach level 30, you'll get a pet and a bunch of XP coupons. Level 100, you'll get frozen gear, even more XP coupons. Level 150, you'll get the boss accessory set and root abyss gear. 200, you'll get a really good title that's going to help you get all the way to 260. Level 210, you get nodes and symbols and XP coupons. 220. Level 220, you get an Absolab weapon and even more symbols. Level 240, which I think is weird. It goes from 220 to 240. You get the Dominator pendant, so you don't actually get to choose. You get both, which is pretty interesting actually. It's good that it doesn't make you choose. You get more XP nodes and symbols. And then level 250, you get the label and chat ring, more symbols. And level 260, you get sacred symbols and you get something called a weapon of hard-earned power, which I don't know if that's an arcane weapon or something, but I have no idea what that is actually. I guess we'll find out. Now, to be honest with you, it doesn't seem like Mo Xuan is hyperburned at all, which means that if you want to get all of these rewards, you're going to have to raw level him. I know some of you might be thinking like, oh, but you know, Tanjio to 260 was really fucking hard and that also didn't have a hyperburn and it had a bonus XP thing. To be honest with you, Mo Xuan probably will be easier than Tanjiro to level just by a little bit or maybe about the same, just because Tanjiro had like no mobbing. So even though he had a huge XP buff, his kill rates were so low, so it just was shit regardless. But yeah, anyways, that's not to justify this. Like, I really think that Mo Xuan should be hyper burned. Honestly, leveling it to 260 just to get these rewards, which aren't even that crazy to be honest with you, seems like a lot of work. So I would say most people who aren't really interested in playing Mo Xuan, probably best to just get him to like level 220 if you want to make him into a boss meal, or even just level 200 and then that's it and get the Legion block. Because he does have a really, really good Legion block, which is crit damage, I believe. The next thing in the patch notes is the Tanjiro job conversion. So all it is your Tanjiro is just going to be converted into a hero, and this is what the class is going to be converted to based on the level. Like, let's say you drop Tanjiro at level 140, he's going to be a level 140 hero. If he's above level 200, then you're going to be 5th job hero, obviously. Now, something that got released that actually surprised me was the fast character switch in the patch notes. So this is something that we were supposed to get a long time ago, but Nexon did say that they couldn't get it because they had different security measures versus the Korean version of the game. So they had to redevelop this entire fast character switch for our version of the game so that it would work properly. And they finally did it, assuming it doesn't bug or anything, but I'm going to be hopeful and hope that this just works perfectly. So if you haven't seen the fast character switch, basically what it allows you to do is it allows you to swap between characters on your account very, very quickly. So instead of relogging, going back to world selection, choosing what channel you want to play on, then the character, you could just do that all in game. So you could just select the character in game and swap to it pretty quickly. Now, it's not instant. It's not like an instant swap. There is a little bit of a load time, but it is still faster than what we had before. And I honestly think this is so good, especially because of like Legion Champion meta and all these characters you have to play. It's definitely really, really good that we have this, and it's honestly about time. The next thing is the familiars that they added. So if you guys don't know, Odium, Shangri-La, Arteria, Carcian, and Talahar all have familiars now. So they're officially being added in this patch. So familiars are going to be in all of the regions, which is honestly one of the best changes that they could have made ever, to be honest with you, because now the familiar system is actually proggable, to be honest with you. Like you don't have to stay in lower level maps forever. If you want to do your fams, you don't have to farm familiars on alt characters for your main. You can just get them all in your main all the way until honestly like pretty much level 300. So everybody's going to have a good chance to get super strong familiars now, and this is just the best thing ever, to be honest with you. So now let's talk about some of the events that are happening in this anniversary patch. Basically, this anniversary patch is the Victoria Cup type event. So if you have been following what the Korean server's been getting, a year ago I believe they got the Victoria Cup event, and long story short, it's a bunch of like sports related events that you can partake in to get a lot of resources. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I will have videos doing all of these events so you know exactly how they work and what rewards you can get from them. But just from the patch notes, we're going to go over the basics on how these events work. So first of all, there's Victoria Soccer, and it's a 5-on-5 mini game that you're going to be able to do with other people, and you get points for scoring goals. So it's like literally like kind of playing soccer in MapleStory. You have skills that you can use as well, like banana kick, power shot, and full sprint. And when you win, you get 300 points. If you tie, you get 150, and if you lose, you get 100. And then based off of how many wins you get, you can get rewards. So you can get like this soccer hat, you can get a uniform, label ring, and then you can get this chair. So this is like more of like a cosmetic thing. I do think the chair looks pretty cool though. Now the next event is the Legends Return. We've actually gotten this event previously, and this event is actually pretty fun. A lot of people usually like playing it because this event involves you playing as some of like the job instructors and just like fighting each other. So if you win, you get 300 points. If you lose, you get 150. And there's a new class that you can play within Legends Return because there's a bunch of classes that you can choose, which is Kyrin. And based off of your wins, you could get more cosmetic stuff. So Pirate King hat, Valerie Royd, Pirate King outfit, Kyrin sandbag chair. And if you get cumulative wins within the same class, so let's say you play Manji, for example, and you win 20 times, you can get the Manji mask. And that goes for all of the other classes as well, like the Dark Lord and Grendel and whatnot. So you can get all of their heads basically as an X. And then there's also ranking. So if you keep winning a lot, you play the game a ton, you're going to be able to get the Legend Returns chair. You'll be able to get the hologram laser sword. And then the Legends Return damage skin is usually a good one that people like because it's usually a very clean unit damage skin. Next is the Victoria Cup Homecoming mission. So this is the 1000 kills 5 times a week part of the event where you just slowly check in 5 times a week and you'll get a bunch of rewards. So you can see here that there's a lot of really good stuff like Prepared Pen of Spirit, a ton of Black Flame, Symbols, Nodes, Soul Urta, Mag Pots, Star Force Potion. There's a Fairy Heart as well. So there's a lot of resources just from killing 1000 mobs 5 times a week that you can get from this. There's also 3x coupons that you can get, so another resource of training, which is really, really good. And then every single time you check in, you get some of these stamps and XP coupons. And if you do one of the mini games, you get to press the button that says fill your collection, and you get even more badges, XP vouchers, and 8 team synergy card points. So there's going to be different shops. So there's going to be a stamp shop, not to be mixed up with the one in the free market. There's one for this event called the stamp shop. And again, like I mentioned at the start of the video, I'm going to have a video just on what to get from the shop so you don't waste any of your resources. So there's going to be another event called Ultimate Collab. Basically, Ultimate Collab is kind of like the event buffs part of this event where it increases like your Monster Park XP, your daily reward XP, soul order from bosses. Like, you know how in previous events they have event stats that give you like bossing damage stats, and then they have event stats that give you daily quest increase stats. So that's what this part is. And then there's also another tab that gives you the bossing stats. So for example, if you put into these characters the stats, these are the bonuses that you'll get. So you'll basically be able to get a bunch of bonus boss damage, IED, crit rate, arcane power XP obtained for the team victory part. And then the team synergy part is what I mentioned before, where you can increase your Monster Park XP, which is probably the most valuable one for most people. And then the XP you get from dailies and grandest dailies as well. Those are super, super valuable too. Now, if you want to get card points so that you can put it into these stats, you're going to have to make sure that you're doing your check-ins. So what do I mean by the check-ins? I mean this stuff that I mentioned earlier, the stamp book. So you have to make sure you kill your 1,000 mobs, and then you have to make sure you do your mini games so that you do your stamp book collection 5 times a week and your mini game collection 5 times a week, and then you'll be able to get points that you could put into those bonus event stats. And then you could also pay real money to get even more points. So you can get Spiegelman cards just from mobbing. This is not the same as the event stats or anything. And you can use these cards to get a chair for a character that you want. So this is just like another bonus that you get from training. I think obviously the Manji one looks the coolest. Now there seems to be even more bonus stats that you can get based off of the medals. And these stats get applied to all of your characters, which is pretty cool. And then there is like a chance to get like the highest level stat. So like if you want the level 3 boss, for example, you would have to keep rolling for it. It's kind of like the choo-choo stats. That's what it reminds me of from that event a while ago. Another event is the boat racing event. See, depending on where you place in the event, you'll get different amounts of points, and then you can use those to get a bunch of cosmetic stuff. So this is the stamp exchange shop that you get from doing your daily kills. You get a bunch of stamps, and there's going to be a lot of really useful stuff in here, especially for early game players, like epic potential scrolls, stamps, droplets, even more flames. You could get 200 flames, which is really good. They also have event ring selector coupon, which is really nice. This is actually really huge for new players. Again, like I mentioned at the start of the video, stay tuned for the shop video so you know what to buy and not waste all of your resources. They have VIPs as well, 5 daily per character. I wish it was unlimited, but I mean 5 is better than not getting them, I guess. You can get soul bags, but you could buy those with Mesos in the regular shop. They have a bunch of nodes, which is pretty cool. XP nodes as well. So this is going to be very huge for early game players. And then the best thing is probably extreme growth potions and strawberry farm. So these two things are going to be massive for leveling your legion when you're very early. I'm going to be using those. And then mag pots for those who, you know, that's what you want to save for. Those are useful too. There's a Meso shop as well, but keep in mind the Meso shops are usually a scam. Like this stuff is definitely not worth buying. Like 750 million Meso for one black flame, like miss me with that. Now low-key, the Android ear sensor clip is valuable if you care about NX, so there's a chance to get that. So badge exchange, this is from doing the mini games. You get a bunch of badges and then you can use them to get a bunch of cosmetic stuff if you're interested in it. Honestly, this chair is pretty cool, the See Your Fortune chair. I also think the backgrounds are pretty nice too for the stats UI. So if you defeat a bunch of weekly bosses, you'll also get trophies, and then you can use those trophies that you get from killing weekly bosses to buy stuff. So this is like the boss shop where you can buy even more stuff, and then you get points depending on what boss you kill. So if you kill like a bunch of really hard bosses, then you'll be able to get a bunch of more points, and you'll be able to buy stuff like VIPs, 3x coupons every single day, so 2 3x's every day. That's really useful. A bunch of symbols, even more flames. Flames are always so useful to get from events, and then even more symbols like sacred symbols. So those are going to be really useful to get too. So balloon pop challenge is the Punch King part of this event. So you're going to have to hit this thing as hard as you can for 2 minutes, and you'll get a score. And then based off of that score, you'll get a lot of XP towards your character. So there's also the Legion Pop Challenge, which is very similar to the Punch King, but you can gain bonus points based off of how much Legion you have. So if you have a lot of Legion, it'll be even easier to get the max score as well. And it's once a week, and you'll get a ton of XP from you doing it as well. So there's basically like 2 Punch Kings. So Shadow Hurdle Race, this is the part of the event that activates automatically once you kill 200 monsters. So this is like the activation proc that happens once you kill a bunch of monsters. So this is really, really good for Legion. It's really good for training. It's 30 activations per day per character. So you can get a ton of Legion done just from using these activations every single day and getting your characters higher level. So the long distance running, basically as you are mobbing, you'll get energy to prog this UI where your character is running, and you'll prog him forward. And then the more that you prog it forward, the more rewards you get. So you'll get node stones, arcane symbols, extreme growth potions, 100 extreme growth potions. That's also so good, and even more VIP boosters. So snack break is basically like a golden strawberry. It's very, very similar, where you can enter this map and kill a bunch of snacks, and then you'll get a ton of bonus XP as well. Now this XP probably doesn't scale that well past level 230 or 240. And then after 259, you just get the same XP as if you were level 259 the whole time. And you could do this 3 times a week. So this is going to be super huge for getting level 3 link skills. If you want to get any boss mules up a little bit in levels, this is very, very huge. Or if you're early game, you could just level your main with this, so it's even easier. There's the magical paper plane event. So this is just an AFK thing where you could just sit in the paper plane and get XP if you're offline or something. Now, I don't know how good this XP is, but you might as well use it. Like if you're offline, you might as well leave your computer on or something and just sit in this chair. There's this Heat of the Festival event that starts on May 7th, and it seems like you just literally get free stuff. Like you just get free fragments and symbols and Soul Urta, like for nothing. Like you just get it if you just talk to Dances with Balrog. And then towards the end of the event on May 28th, there's going to be the Goodbye Victoria Cup. So there's going to be some final resources towards the end. If you kill 1,000 monsters every single day, you'll get bonus 3x coupons. There's the Altea Saga episode 2, so you could just watch the Altea Saga video and then you'll get 5 Mapei nodes. Mapei nodes are special nodes that give you like bonuses like 20% XP, or not 20%, 10% XP, 20% Meso, 20% drop, and whatnot. And then towards the end of the event, there's the Hit the Road event, which will also be even more stuff where you could kill 1,000 mobs a day and get VIP boosters, VIP coupons, XP nodes, Soul Urta fragments, XP nodes, and a lot of free resources just from killing 1,000 mobs. So there's just so much value in killing monsters in this event because you just get shit every day. And then last but not least are the Sunny Sundays. So this coming weekend on May 4th is going to be a 30% off event and 250% Monster Park XP, which is really good. Honestly, I really don't recommend 30% offs. Just save for 5, 10, 15 if possible. They're usually better. Following week is Mag Soul and then Portal XP. And then every single week you get bonus badges and stamps, which is really good. Following week is Inner Ability Rune XP buff effect. So this is like mini haste where you just have like fat rune XP, which is really, really good for training. And then 300% combo kill. This is actually really good for Legion 2. And then 5, 10, 15 on May 25th, which is really good. This is going to be the Starfest event that everyone's going to most of you want to save for. But keep in mind that there's probably going to be a cube sale around this same week. So if you want to do cubes over starring, then you might want to skip this event because that's what they usually always do. They do a 5, 10, 15 with a cube sale and you usually don't have enough money to optimize for both. But look forward to a video talking about that more in detail in the future. And then the following week is even more Monster Park XP and then 1+1 event. So this is good for like lower level characters, 3,000 badges. And then the final week is 2x Portal XP. But that's about it for the patch notes. Obviously, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Join the Discord if you have even more questions and you want, more active answers, I guess, so you don't have to keep coming back to the comments. Obviously, pull up to the live stream because I'm going to be playing this live and showing you guys everything. Subscribe so you don't miss out on all of the many videos that are going to come out regarding this entire event. And with that all being said, I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know what you're most excited for and have a wonderful day.